Hello and welcome to Stand Up, Tear It Down. 9/11 Memorial episode. This track is called On the Turning Away by Pink Floyd. From the album A Momentary Lapse of Reason. Yes, hello and welcome. On this, what is a very solemn day in history. A day that changed the world, culture, and society forever. A day that remains, in some minds, the start of a war on terror. But for many more, it began a war of terror. Against the people of the world. Against the people of North America. Like the day that JFK was shot. It forever changed the course of the free world. The perceptions people had about what kind of world we live in. And what the USA is all about. And like with the assassination of JFK, the results of the official investigation were clearly not an honest assessment of the facts and their implications. But for others, it has also ushered in a new way of thinking, the realization that the governments of the world, not just the United States of America, did not serve the people, but themselves, and they would do anything to hold on to the power that they have. It's the 18th anniversary of the 9/11 World Trade Center attacks. And this episode is dedicated to anybody who's lost someone and anybody who's just felt the sting and felt the pain of losing somebody. And to everybody who's had to suffer in the last 20 years. All right. So again, that was Pink Floyd from the album A Momentary Lapse of Reason, On the Turning Away. It's a very emotional song, and I always think about 9/11 when I hear that song. I'm pretty sure they used to play it on the anniversary every year when I was growing up. I'm pretty sure that's where it came from. Anyways. As it's the anniversary of the tragedy, I'd like to start tonight's program with words of great consequence and wisdom from two of the greatest figures in American history, if not all of history, but certainly modern history. The first is by the great Benjamin Franklin, and I think it applies well to this episode. Those who would give up the essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Basically, when you give up your rights, you're not going to be safer. So anyway, to simplify that for all you dummies out there. The next is from undoubtedly the greatest president in United States history, John F. Kennedy. The very word, and I've used this quote before, I think. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe. No war ever posed a greater threat in our security. If you are waiting to find a clear and present danger, then I can only say that that danger has never been more clear, and in its presence has never been more imminent. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned. No rumor is printed. No secret is revealed. Yes, a quote from, without a doubt, the greatest president in American history. A man who should still be here today, helping to shape the future, the course of history over the past 30-some-odd years, and instead was claimed in a ruthless chess game that has become the war on the free world. Thanks for joining us here tonight on Stand Up, Tear It Down. After a serious gap in the production of this show, we return tonight to discuss not just the facts that point to a serious act of treason and an act of terror, which most now believe to be domestic in origin, not foreign. Although there has been a lack of although there has been a serious lack of episodes for S.U.T.D, I haven't run out of ideas at all. But now that summer is wrapping up, I'll be back to a once-a-week schedule. And I do apologize to anyone who took an interest in my previous installments and who listened to the fact I said they would be weekly. I assure you, I have over a half a dozen in the works, and each will be crafted with more care and research, quality and quality recitation. See, this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is what I'm talking about. Quality recitation to you folks. Because if you're listening, you too have a special place in my heart. To all listeners, I consider you family. More than that, you're a fellow citizen. No, not of Ottawa. No, I'm not even talking about Canada. Not North America either, no. You are a fellow citizen of the world. Our world, Eden, as I like to call it. So, welcome, fellow dreamer, believer in a utopia for all of mankind. Citizen of Eden, together we can build that dream for all of our people. Now, without further audio theater, let's get into what I have prepared for your ears tonight. All right, so I started my morning this morning by listening to a press conference, and it was a press conference of firefighters, first responders. I believe it was a commissioner of a certain neighborhood that was in New York where the attacks happened. And basically they had met to demand that the investigation be reopened. Now, I have some facts, surrounding all this, but I also have a little bit to say on the matter. But anyways, what I wanted to mention about it was the speech by the father of one of the firefighters killed by the explosion before the tower fell or the planes hit. And I don't remember every word, obviously. I did listen. I was very tired at that point. But his speech, I do remember, ended with, "I know that Muslims had nothing to do with my son's death Absolutely nothing. And he talked a lot about, I believe he talked a lot about he's not citing the reasons for the attacks. He's going by what the engineers have all come together to tell him and, to tell the world. So, what happened next in following his speech? It was pretty lengthy. It was about 7 minutes. It was a very good speech. I encourage you to listen to it. You can find that at ae911truth.org, and they've got a lot of material there about the doubts around 9/11, and I'll tell you a little bit about what they're pushing for in a moment. But anyway, a reporter asked the father of the firefighter, the hero that died that day, an inaudible question. You couldn't hear it, but the answer that the father gave should provide some context. His answer was, "I think Robert Mueller is one of the top on my list of suspects who is responsible for my son's death." He added that he thought Russiagate was all a distraction and overblown, and that Mueller clearly, quote, does what he's told. Powerful words. Now, if you were, I don't want to get into Russiagate too much because, frankly, I don't really give a shit about the whole thing. Not to hurt anyone's feelings, but if that doesn't really make you rethink you thinking that the Russians got Donald Trump in, I don't know what else will. Well, I do know. Check out the Jimmy Dore show. That'll help you out. But I'm not saying the election wasn't rigged. I definitely believe it was rigged. But it was rigged in more ways than one. And it was rigged by fellow Americans. Now, I'm not America. I'm saying your fellow Americans, America. I'm Canadian. Proudly so. Thankfully so. Thank God. Thank God. Frostbite is worth the security that we feel up here. But anyway, back to the itinerary, the script that I prepared. Let's see. So yeah, I think that's pretty powerful words from the father of one of the heroes lost in the attacks. And there was a lot more firefighters lost. I think it was 300 something. I might have the statistic here in my list of facts and stuff. But anyways, basically I'm just going to go over some of the facts. I'm going to try and keep it brief. And then I'm going to get into some of, what I think about it. And that's here on the list too. So, I don't have the full script written out, but I'll try to add a little bit. I know it's always much clearer and crisper whenever I write out a full script. But hey, I wrote this over the last 48 hours. I slept about 3 hours last night, and I woke up to, ironically, fire alarms going off early this morning, which, I'm not trying to be offensive at all, but it was pretty ironic because it's about the time I think that all this shit went down with 9/11, so it was kind of fucking scary. But anyways, not saying that I had any weird dreams about it or anything, but anyways, that's another podcast, the Dream Podcast. Yeah. So, I watched the Tinfoil Hat episode 230 last night, and that's where I get a lot of this information. I also watched the previous episode, and I've been looking into this for a little while, not too much, but I think I always knew that it was an inside job since the first year that I heard about it. Somebody told me it was an inside job, and it makes a lot of fucking sense when you look at all the facts. Those are the facts I'm going to attempt to convey to you without repeating myself too many more times here, folks. But anyway, here we go. And definitely check out ae911truth.org. I watched the nationwide address tonight. There was another address at 10:30, but I didn't catch that. And you can give donations at the site. It's a legit site. I'm not trying to scam you guys for cash. You guys can check it out. And those donations go, I believe, to the investigation, not to the families or anything, just towards the legal proceedings and stuff. But anyway, so the initial investigation, just to put it in perspective, compared to other things that received about 57 million and 27 million for I think it was Pearl Harbor and stuff. I should have written that down, folks. I'm sorry. But the investigation was only given $3 million for a budget, and they were given a deadline, a finite deadline of 18 months, which was extended 2 months, but didn't garnish anything further. Yeah, one of the quotes from the head investigator, I believe, was, "We were starved of funds to do a proper investigation." So, if that doesn't say anything to you, I don't know what will. Something I had written down, I don't know why I'd written it down, but Sam Tripoli, the host of Tinfoil Hat Conspiracy podcast, mentioned this. In 1973, apparently, this is unconfirmed, but apparently U.S. military shot down a drone with lasers. So you guys can look that up. I didn't research that at all, but I wouldn't doubt it at all. Direct energy weapons are definitely a real thing now. I am a conspiracy theorist, definitely. Not for some of the conspiracies I believe in, but I've seen the patent and the patent number for direct energy weapons, aka lasers, attached to planes. You guys can look that up. And yeah, I think it's been in effect. The invention, or whatever the fuck it is, has been around for like a couple of years now, like 2-3 years. There's also another one that is by Boeing, and it creates an electrical arc that deflects traditional projectiles. And that's a confirmed piece of technology. That's not I'm not making shit up out of my brilliant imagination. But anyway. So yeah. Definitely check out Tinfoil Hat, you guys, for sure, if you're not already a fan and that didn't bring you here. The Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiry has submitted a petition to the U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, who said he would comply and form a grand jury panel and comply with all laws. So the 9/11 Truth Commission has submitted a mandamus action to force them to act with greater speed and provide proof of such action is actually taking place, is in fact on the way. Also, they're suing the FBI for withholding evidence from Congress after 9/11, after the 9/11 report was published. This was required by the 9/11 Commission, RE 2015. So that was in 2015, that fact is from. All right, so another fact around this, which I found really damning, is the fact that now thermite residue, and for you fans of Fallout, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, or perhaps it's in other games, but thermite is basically something that you light it up and it turns into like fucking molten magma. And it can cut through metal, cut through steel easily. It's, again, not science fiction. Check that shit out. So now thermite residue is found by a Copenhagen research group. I believe that's somewhere in Germany. Up to 10 tons of residue by extrapolation calculations. This is an incendiary, like I said previously, that cuts through steel like butter. And it's really only available, according to the head of this investigation, or the spearheader, sorry, the top, I don't know if he's the top guy, but he's definitely a rep. He's an engineer, sorry. It's only, this thermite is only, you can only produce it in an advanced defense contractor lab. And furthermore, molten iron microspheres only produced by this process were found in all of the geological, the U.S. geological toxology studies of the U.S. Trade Center attacks. Clear evidence of nanothermite used, and even unignited thermite on a micro scale. And this evidence comes from, like I said, the U.S. Geological Foundation or something like that. So, I mean, there you go. That's pretty evident there. Now, you could say, oh, well, the terrorists could have got a hold of some of that thermite stuff there. And, I mean, it's conceivable, but they would have had to get it from an advanced lab, supposedly somewhere in the U.S. But anyway. So that's just one fact, okay. we're going to go into more of the facts here. Apparently, there was something about Israeli art students linked to the Saudi hijackers. And I want to make that clear. The hijackers weren't from Iraq or Iran or anything like that. They were from Saudi Arabia, UAE, United Arab Emirates, as it's called. And they were these Israeli art students. I think they were filmed laughing and celebrating and high-fiving while the attacks were taking place, and they were watching them. So that's pretty fucked up. And apparently that the FBI did an investigation into this. They were all some of them were arrested, but then I believe they were given an order to release these fuckers. So I mean, I think it would be racist to use somebody's identity to try and absolve them of something, just as much it is to say that, oh look, he's Muslim, that's why he is involved in this kind of shit. Like, so I'm not anti-Jewish at all. I love fucking Jewish people. I'm a big fan of Jerry Seinfeld, and originally that's why I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. But I learned he's kind of the master, and I'll never be able to make him laugh like that. But anyway, so yeah, the CIA and the FBI failed on a massive scale that day to prevent the attack. That's kind of out of order, that fact, but I wanted to mention something else with that. But anyway, I'll get to that in a few minutes. Accounts of 156 emergency responders document explosions, being in the explosions, seeing and feeling many explosions before the towers collapsed. And I think one of the quotes was, like a train underground, and then the towers fell. All these testimonies were omitted from the final investigation submittal. Okay? R.J. Lee Environmental Firm's statements were also omitted from the official report, stating that the metal alloys, the molten iron microspheres, that's a tongue twister, were in fact formed during the event. So that was from an independent third-party firm saying that. It was left out of the final report that was presented. Okay? So they've ignored 156 police, firefighters, paramedics, very credible people. They've ignored that, thrown that out, not even put it into the final report. That's fucking sketchy as fuck, if you ask me. Excuse my language, by the way. I was going to try and not be vulgar on this episode to show respect, but it's kind of hard when you're listening to these facts. It makes you very angry. So, please excuse my my cussing. Anyways. Elevators, which are a big deal, apparently, in structural integrity. I didn't pass grade 9, folks. So anyway, elevators were upgraded to modern standards to amount to the biggest elevator upgrade in history. It was even featured in a popular elevator magazine, apparently. So said the person that Sam was interviewing on Tinfoil Hat. They were upgraded and before the event, and I believe that was for fire retardation. Speaking of retardation, no, I'm sorry. Anyway, before the event, and 47 steel columns in each were originally intended to prevent the collapse. 240 steel columns to prevent the collapse on the outside. So three-quarters of the strength needed to support the tower weight. I'm sorry about that. 3 times. Yes, 3/4 of the strength needed to support the tower's weight. Meaning, you would need that many. I'm not even going to try and explain that right now. Anyway, there's also the gravity freefall effect, which, most people notice right away. That the effect is deemed impossible because the speed increases too rapidly to be explained by the building's composition. Okay? Steel beams were seen on tape being ejected at 80 miles an hour, sideways, on film, trailed by thick white smoke clouds, evidence of fire, or them being on fire, the ends partially incinerated with evidence of sulfur on the beams, a chemical that is needed to be added to the thermite to turn into thermate that is much more efficient at the task of slicing through steel for demolition purposes, I believe, and military application. All right, so in addition to those facts, these towers were originally designed to withstand a minimum of 2 largest at the time scale commercial aircrafts being flown directly into the support beams. Okay, so that was their core design. Structural engineers, they don't just make this shit up. They don't just stick a bunch of popsicle sticks together and see what the fuck works. They use their knowledge that's been passed down for thousands of years on how to fucking do this stuff. So, I mean, come on. Anyway, who are you going to trust, me or the fucking architects? Come on. Documented records and evidence of 2,800 degree temperatures with melted steel and molten iron witnessed pouring from buildings moments after the plane impacted, and also pouring from rubble removed by firefighters. Melted concrete, which one of the firefighters said they didn't even know existed. All right? So that is evidence of something, much more serious going on than just jet fuel. Apparently jet fuel only burns at, here we go, right here. 90% of the fuel burnt on impact, and according to calculations, and fuel could only reach 400 degrees because it was kerosene. And only 10 minutes of fire would have resulted from the amount of fuel left after an impact of that velocity, that force. All right. And then it would have become a regular office fire, which could have easily been extinguished. And by the way, I remember the father of the firefighter that I mentioned previously said that basically they had radioed down. His last words were, he radioed down and said this fire would not be a problem, and that it wasn't even burning that much, and they were going to have it out in a few minutes. Okay, so this is a veteran of the fire service. Okay, he knew what he was talking about. And what happened after that? As if the conversation was being monitored on the shortwave radio, then the detonation happened. We can't have these we can't have these witnesses, these survivors. We can't have this failing. We can't have anybody noticing what's going on. So then they blew it. So basically, I think, I don't want to put words in his mouth, the father's mouth, but basically I think what he was implying was they blew it because he said he was there and it was going to be put out in a minute. Okay, so that's a disgusting thing to have to think about as the father of a hero. Okay, it's terrible. So these steel beams were also designed to be fireproof, and apparently, according to this engineer and to all the 3,000 engineers that have signed this petition, have 2 to 3 hours of fire retardation. Only enough furniture and debris in these offices. There was only enough fuel, basically. Sorry for reusing the word fuel. There's only enough furniture, chairs, all that fucking shit, computers, whatever, in there to keep it burning for 20 minutes. So all these facts just don't add up. 10 minutes plus 20 minutes, it's nothing. These fires were burning for days. The hot steel pouring out of them could have only been caused by something far greater than kerosene or simple office furniture burning, which would be like 500, 600 degrees. It wouldn't be 2,800 degrees, which is needed to melt steel. And I believe that's a Celsius temperature. 2,800. Look it up, people. Okay? So that's fucked. Anyways, do you think that a bunch of, now Saudi Arabia is quite rich because of the resulting oil deals that have been happening and stuff like that, but, or I shouldn't say resulting. I think there's been a pretty strong relationship with the Saudis throughout the last 50 years. So I'm not a huge history buff, but from the small amount of research I've done, that's what I've come to understand. Anyways, computer simulations, which you can find at the website I mentioned, 911aetruth.org previously, the website. Okay. Computer-generated simulations prove, and you can see these for yourself, that the beams would have need to be removed all at once to cause an identical fall to what is seen in the footage and what was seen that day. Another fact that was mentioned is there was not enough debris at the base of the tower, showing a lot went flying. Okay, so take that as you will. I just thought that was pretty interesting. So that would mean basically maybe the thermite destroyed some of it, but I think a lot of it went flying is what they're trying to say. So anyways, by the way, a lot of cancer and illnesses happened. And I believe today, just to go off script for one moment, I know it's hard to believe this is a script, right? Earlier today, I believe it was the Democrats. Again, I don't support left or right. They're both bought and sold. More than, strippers. God love the strippers, but these fucking scumbags. Anyways. They today, apparently, I'm not 100% sure on the bill, but they were trying to pass something politically motivated, apparently, according to Get Your News On with Ron, which I watched today. And basically, I think it was the 9/11 responders bill. Okay, there's been a lot of flack around that particular bill. But to even argue against giving these heroes healthcare after this fucking bullshit gave them cancer, you should be flogged publicly, beaten down by everyone in the street. That's the kind of shit that we should allow mob justice. Now I'm speaking emotionally, but seriously, these motherfuckers need to be stopped. Anyway, hold on a sec. That's another podcast here before I get too upset. This is a sensitive subject. I get really mad because this really is the single attack that has kicked off this new world order, which has been slowly taking hold and tightening its grasp over the last 18 years. It's disgusting. Most of my adult life. Okay. Anyway. So, moving on. Another gruesome detail of this that just does not add up is 1,100 people were vaporized. Most bodies were not found or pulverized into pieces that, I don't want to gross you guys out, but apparently it was 6,000 body parts, if I remember correctly, that would have fit into test tubes. So, that's what the forensic investigators had come up with, that these body parts were blown apart, basically into smoothies. Now, how would this happen? Would this happen with a plane? Would this happen with a plane blowing up, a small explosion in a huge building, one of the biggest fucking buildings of all time? Would this happen from fires? Would this happen even from a whole building falling on top of someone? Apparently not. Apparently, it would have to be some kind of explosion to cause this level of carnage. Okay? So, there's also, not many people know this, but there was an original 1993 attack on the World Trade Center, and there was a lot of similarities, apparently. I didn't do too much research on it, I probably will do it at some point. But the bombs did not take the tower down. Apparently, I think it was trucks full of bombs. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think that's something. Anyway, they did not take the tower down. Okay, so for some reason, I doubt that was intentional. I think if they wanted them to go down, maybe they would have. But who knows? I don't know. You never know with these crazy fucking sociopathic fucking leeches. Politics, by the way. I think the literal Roman Latin translation is blood-sucking leech. So leech that tick that sucks. Sorry, blood tick. That's what politic means. Blood tick. Poly meaning blood and no. My bad. Jesus fuck. Don't smoke and drive here, folks. It means many ticks. Jeez, everybody out there is like, this guy's a fucking moron. All right. Another thing I really wanted to mention, this wasn't in, I don't think this was in the, it might have been in the podcast. Yeah, it might have been in Tinfoil Hat. A lot of cartoons, you can look this up. A lot of cartoons like The Simpsons, Family Guy, and, or no, I don't think Family Guy was around then. But The Simpsons, supposedly, and some others like Fred Flintstone, what the fuck is that called? The Flintstones. A lot of other cartoons have basically depicted two towers being knocked down with a plane. Or there's been a lot of examples of the World Trade Centers being destroyed. So I think they were trying to condition people for it. I can't even remember the guy's name. His name is Ryan. He's like a gay dude on YouTube, and he does conspiracy videos. And that was where I got that fact. But I just wanted to mention that because, these people plan this shit years in advance. I believe leaders are not only chosen by the elites, but I think that they're royal bloodlines. And no matter who's running, I mean, these people are chosen long time in advance. But that's another podcast topic. That's another episode of Speak Up, Tear It Down. So let's get back to the thing here. There's another. Oh, this is very early. I put this in. I had put plastic explosive. That's the first fucking note I jotted down. But it says pre-demolition theory and evidence of plastic explosives. But I guess it was thermite. But I'm pretty sure that I heard something about that. So a lot of people have come to the conclusion that it's explosives, and it definitely is. I mean, we're not even going to argue about that. I'm just mentioning some of the facts here. Reporter announces, I'm going to try to pick up the pace. Reporter announces Building 7 fell before it did. Now, this is a famous clip you can look up, and the reporter is announcing that the Building 7 has fallen, but in the background, you can see the building still standing. So unless this was a computer-generated image that is a fuck-up, I don't think it was. I think it was the actual building behind her, out a window. So they said it was a confusing day and that they made a mistake. Oh my, how convenient for people who don't know what the fuck logic is. I don't know. Fuck. I'm not here to make jokes tonight. We'll do that later. And I am sorry for any jokes I made. I'm just trying to keep it light. This is a dark subject. I don't in any way find any of this amusing. It's hard to go through these facts. Anyway, engineers for a 9/11 Truth Group, firefighters group unanimously voted to request a reinvestigation based on the accounts of explosions heard, like I told you before, and autopsies revealed the explosion trauma. And that was the legal facts that they submitted. So now the case is reopened. And, or I think, no, it's not. Sorry, I misspoke. So that was the guy that I told you. They're going to be putting together a commission. He said he would comply, but they didn't. The people at this press conference did not seem too satisfied with that answer from the guy. Anyway, 5 fire commissioners were addressing the National Fire Commission today. So that's what the press conference that I watched today was. You guys can watch that too. So yeah, I think I did these a little bit backwards. Sorry for the continuity issue. One of the biggest connections here that's constantly, I think, ignored by people is the Saudi Arabian connection. all the terrorists on board that fucking flight, or those flights, sorry, uh, were Saudis or Saudi nationals. Arms sales from the American governments, from the Canadian governments, oil deals with the UAE have ramped up in the last 10, 15, 20 years. Okay? They have been one of our biggest trading partners, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Canada is just as guilty as this. And what has happened when we've sold them guns, when we've sold them armored vehicles, in particular, Justin Trudeau, as our first official act in office, the great and honorable, right and honorable Justin Trudeau, huh? Arms sales by Canadian companies, or that included Saudi Arabia to keep Jesus fucking Christopher, I'm sorry. We sold them that stuff right before the Yemen genocide happens. Okay? So we're complicit. We sold a terrorist nation, an extremist religious nation, death devices that they have been using. Canadian-made death devices that have been made to oppress and slaughter civilians. Unarmed, most of the time, civilians. Now, the Israel connection, I already mentioned that, so let me just read this here first. Art students and the video, yeah, see, I already mentioned that. Apparently it was in real time on the news, so like I said, there was an FBI report. And, yeah, they were ordered to be released. I'm just going down a fucking list here. It's very bare bones. The Pentagon and other buildings were hit that day, I believe. 3 total, one being done. Most theorized to erase debts and files with classified info that they wanted gone. Okay. The plane could have been shot down long before it hit, or sorry, the planes could have been shot down. Okay. Millions of dollars were invested into jet planes and other means of taking down aircraft for just a scenario. And NORAD was given the order not to shoot down the plane several times by Dick Cheney. The quote that comes from the jet fighter is, do the orders still stand? And he said, of course they still stand. They stand until I say otherwise. That's documented. Why was it done? Now, with all these facts considered, why was this done? And I believe it was Dick Cheney himself who said, you're probably thinking, why would I want to attack the Pentagon? This is in the minutes of the meeting the day before 9/11, supposedly. Okay. This was done as a false flag attack. Now, obviously, it happened. I'm not some fucking crazy 9/11 denier. God forbid that's actually a real thing. But, you know, it probably is. There's probably somebody out there that's that fucking crazy. The false flag has ushered in a new security state, led to a war on terror, an endless war on terror that can receive all kinds of funding forever and ever into the future. There's no stop to this war on terror. And lastly, it has led to the consent of a mass surveillance state. This was revealed in large part by Edward Snowden, who fled to Russia and who had no choice. You know, he was an American involved in, I think it was the, what was it? The NSA. Okay, and he was a whistleblower. He had to flee the country because he would have either been imprisoned or killed. A lot of whistleblowers come forward. It's in the thousands a year, and none of them, I think less than 2% are processed. Other reasons include something that's often misinterpreted by people. There's a lot of oil in the Middle East. What I learned recently is it wasn't just done to acquire the oil and to, you know, ship it around and to sell it or whatever. It was done to maintain an oil monopoly. All right. There was a deal, I think it was in the 50s, and it was establishing the petrodollar. And basically, what that means is if you buy or sell oil, I think it's Saudi Arabia, but it might be anywhere in the world. If you buy or sell oil, you have to do it in American dollars, USD, which a lot of people only deal in USD. Though that's slowly changing because the currency is fucking falling apart. We had the 2008 financial crisis, and those scumbag bankers took all the money and kicked everybody out. So, yeah, I mean, another thing that came from this, directly or indirectly, was the Patriot Act. So now you're cattle. You ain't got no rights anymore. Habeas corpus was basically effectively abolished that day. The government can scoop you up, and all they got to say is you're a terrorist. It's plain and simple why they've done this, so they can have total control over every person, and not just in the United States, but every person on Earth. Since then, there's been endless wars, not just in the Middle East, but all over. It's expanded the consent for military invasion. Now, I'm not saying there's not scumbags in the world to be dealt with, but with the current track record of United States American Army, this shit can't continue. The only people that I say are a real threat besides the American government are the fucking dirty communist Chinese. Now, I love Chinese people. I love Chinese culture, and that's why I despise the Communist Party of China. And if you're listening, motherfuckers, you better pray that I never get popular, because I'll talk about you cocksuckers every fucking second of every fucking day, you fucking scum. But anyway, again, that's another episode of Speak Up, Tear It Down. See, I told you I had over half a dozen episodes planned. Come on, who you guys think you're dealing with? Anyway. And, in spite of China being a fucking communist, fucking wet dream, worse, no offense to any, people who've had any feelings around the Holocaust, but what's going on in China has been going on for 20 years, unabated. Dissenters in China are chopped up and sold for organs, hair, blood, fingernails, you name it. You want it, you got it in China. They literally make everything in China, including chopped up human body parts for your sick fucking old grandfather. So, call them now. Fucking operators are waiting. Jesus Christ. There's nothing more deplorable. We love them so much here in, I don't, but, members of Canadian Parliament seem to. They're our biggest fucking trading partner. Same with the United States of America. It's disgraceful. Why do we do business with Communist Chinese Party known to fucking chop people up, known to chop up dissenters, limit free speech by law? All right? If you smoke weed there, I'm pretty sure you get the death penalty. If you do cocaine or anything or sell drugs at all, death penalty. All right? You got to work 12 hours in a fucking factory. Fuck Communist China. Okay? We love them so much, but there's a lot of I think it's conservative voices that talk out about China and shit, but we still fucking do business with them. So anything to make a fucking dollar, right? Literal slave labor, okay. And then there's Saudi fucking shithole Arabia, okay. Fuck Saudis, all right. House of Saud, fuck you. You're fucking pathetic worms, and you don't deserve to represent anything religious connected to the great Lord Almighty. So fuck you people, okay? And one day the people of Arabia are going to throw you guys down, chop off your fucking heads instead of you doing the other thing, and they're going to beat you and fuck you in public. All right, you cowards. You dress-wearing cowards. The day will come. The day will come, and you know it's coming. I've heard a lot of theories that these people they're not even Sunni Muslims. They're actually just fucking Satan-worshipping Luciferian scumbags. And they just wear this mask because consent is given by the powers that be to allow this shit to happen, to allow people to be fucking here. Look at they're engaged in Saudi Arabia right now, currently, and over the last 5 years, I believe, in a genocide in Yemen. They promote Sharia law. which means if you go out in public with your face showing, you get beaten down, often to death if you're a woman, okay? And they also support the rise of extremist Muslim apartheid governments. Anybody who's not Muslim, and if you don't fucking get down and worship on your knees when they blow their fucking horn, you're beaten to death. Or stoned. Okay? They kill gays on the regular. If you're gay there, you're done. They'll kill you. Probably not pleasantly either. They're not going to give you a bullet to the head. They're going to fucking beat the shit out of you, okay? And women who disobey the law, pretty much universally death. I might be mistaken, but I think they do female genital mutilation over there. These fucking scumbag fucks. Okay? Again, I've got friends who are Muslim. I admire aspects of that religion and all religions. I consider myself a person of all religions, but what's going on in Arabia? It's not kosher. Same with China. Like I said, it's literal communist slave labor. Anyway, on to the next point. The president now has a kill list since 9/11. He can request a hit on any citizen from the top black ops motherfuckers, on any citizen of the United States of America, and I'm pretty sure any citizen of the world. Let's face it, United States of America runs the fucking world right now. Okay, with no proof, with no congressional approval or oversight or knowledge, in secret, the president has a fucking kill list. And I'm not just talking Trump. Obama before him had this, and you can bet your ass before it was a law that they had it illegally under Bush and all the others. By the way, Bush's family supported the Nazis. You can check that out. Verifiable fact. Okay, on to the next thing. There's also been a non-stop war economy, like I had previously mentioned. Trillions and trillions of dollars, effectively like most of the GDP, I'm pretty sure, are unaccounted for. And the Pentagon recently couldn't even complete an audit. So, I mean, who's going to go to jail? Who's holding these gun-wielding psychopaths? And I'm not talking all military members. I'm talking these fucking generals and these fucking, maybe not even the generals, I don't know. Probably like the people at the very top. I'd say the corporations. Who's holding them accountable? Who's holding these murderers accountable? Whoever it is responsible making these fucking decisions. Nobody. Nobody currently. Anyways. All these rumors about Q, I don't believe it. Do I believe there's great people in the military or even in the spy agencies fighting against this shit? Maybe. But, Q, give me a fucking break. I mean, come on. PSYOP. Okay. So, also, consent for the Iraq War and, I'm about to get to the points about Obama here, but, we've gone from, I think it was 2 wars to 7 recently, I found today. So I'll mention that again in another minute. But, yeah, consent for the Iraq War and the demonization of Muslims, and fear of Iran, etc. Iran is, I don't know, I'm not going to say they're progressive at all or whatever, but apparently they're pretty civilized and people of all faiths, Jewish, Muslim, Christian, can live in peace together. Girls are allowed to study. They don't have to cover their fucking hair and faces and shit. They might have to do their hair, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So don't quote me on that. But you know what I mean? It's a lot more relaxed than that shithole fucking Saudi fuckhole Arabia. Okay, and even still a lot better than Israel. Let's face it, folks. I mean, if people can live in harmony of all religions, it's a lot better than Israel. Israel's an apartheid state. It's basically what Germany strived to be. Sorry, guys. I don't hate Israelis, but your government, you gotta overthrow those motherfuckers. Okay? Support BDSM. Everybody. Alright? Thank you. Come at me, you fucks. Why can't we all live in peace? Because you guys have small penis syndrome. That's why. Small little cock and balls. That's what all this trouble in the world's for. Lady sees your dick, she laughs at it. It's fucking pathetic. And then you go around hating your neighbor because his penis on average size is just a larger variety. Okay? Anyway. I take that back. I'm sure there's Jews with Israelis with huge shalbutzes, You know, Shabbat sticks. They'll fucking smack you with that fucking piece of meat. But anyway, whatever. That's your bit of comedy for this episode. I really want to try stand up soon. Working on that. All right, where are we here? We're at 55 minutes. We're almost done. I've got a few more points, some comments. We'll wrap her up, and then I have a very exciting 2 more quotes at the end for you. One of them is very funny, and that will close at the show, as well as another song I'll play at the end. All right, so let's get back to it. I also want to apologize for all the ahs and ums. Yeah. Anyway, apologize for that. Work on that over the next couple of weeks. But this will be a regular feature here on 100% Canadian Maple Syrup. If you're liking this, please give it a like. And, you're probably subscribed if you listen to this fucking shit. Jesus Christ, you are a beautiful human being. And I love you. I love you so much. And let's smoke one down sometime. Call into the show, whoever you are, whoever you may be. Whoever you are, I don't know. You might be related to me, whoever. Call into the show and give me your opinions. All right? We would love that here, and I do mean we. There's a few other people involved with the channel, but anyway, back to the business at hand. Okay, what was another main reason, in my opinion? Well, along with the surveillance state, look at your phone. It's got 2 cameras. Why does it have 2 cameras? For selfies? Why can't I just flip it around? Why is it harder to take? Why is that? Here's another point. Try taking a picture on Facebook with the normal camera and pointing at your, like, you'll have your finger on the button. It won't push most of the time. Okay. So anyway, another reason is the coming robot police state, and in my opinion, robot death police state. Robots are going to be malfunctioning constantly and fucking slaughtering people, and I think it's going to happen within the next 10 years. I really believe that. Advances in the last 10 years, I'd probably say, have made facial recognition software much more advanced even than a barcode ID system. Anyway, there's robots, you can look them up, and they're being designed by DARPA to hunt human beings, and it's disturbing. The lack of respect seen in foreign countries will soon be available to you fine folks in the United States of America. I guarantee that, and it's a sad thing to say, but unless we all stand up and tear this shit down, it's coming to a state, a city near you. I'm not excluding you fine Canadian fellow citizens of mine. Much love for any Canadian person listening, or American, or any person. Anyway, I've already said that. I'll scratch my foot. Oh, it's so fucking itchy. I think I got the foot fungus again. All right, so the coming robot police state is basically the biggest threat to humankind, I would say. Why would I say that? Do I think that the robots are going to get a mind of their own and just take over and start going crazy? No, I don't really believe AI is real currently. I mean, it's probably real at the highest levels. But I see a fucking ad that says, you were using AI to determine when your baby's sleeping. No, that's a program. You don't study the baby's unique behavior. You have a fucking program that tells you when the fucking baby's crying and when it's fucking awake. So don't tell me it's AI unless I can have a conversation with my laptop. Hey, what are you pretending to wear? What would you do to me if you had hands? Where would you like to be done if you had body parts? These are the kinds of things. What hard drive would I put it in? No, it's not a fucking AI. It's a fucking program device, people. So, no, I'm not saying that the robots are going to take over. I'm saying that our current rulers are going to have soulless soldiers that, basically they can hop into via a fucking Xbox 360 controller and start killing everybody. And with no consequences, they can blame it on fucking AI. Oh, it was AI. The AI took over and slaughtered people. No, you probably just grabbed your remote controller and started fucking taking people out like it was, I almost said the 4th of July, but that'd be offensive, incredibly offensive, and I'm glad I didn't say that, because then you'd all know that I'm a cynical son of a bitch. Anyway, if that wasn't clear already. So, facial recognition software, along with these robots, will be the cause of the new Holocaust, people. They're coming for us. They're coming for the poor, for the bottom 99. Why? Well, there's a lot of support for population control theory. It's barely a theory. I mean, it's pretty much a fact. And if they can get rid of 99% of us, it's like George Orwell in 1984. Do you think that 1984, the book, would fly on a large scale, like right away, right now? Probably not. But, with 1% of the world's population intact, with a lot of people dead, you could control a couple million people. A couple billion? Probably not. Not without a couple of fucking billion fucking police warriors, whatever you want to call them. I don't want to call them police warriors because they're just fucking death machines. I would like to learn how to do robots. I think that they could be used to save us all, free us from labor, and maybe even be really good friends. I won't say lovers. That's just fucking disgusting. Power to the robosexuals. But it grosses me out. Just don't do it in front of me, please. Robosexuals, fuck your toaster at home, okay? Stay away from blenders. And washing machines should not be sat on for longer than 20 minutes. It can result in anal gland rupturing. Trust me, I've been there. Okay? I've spent a lot of quarters in my local laundromat. It's fun, Paul. It's fun. You gotta try it. Sit on a washing machine. No, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway. Greater detail could have made that joke much more disgusting. I'm trying to scroll down here. Oops. All right, and another thing that I need to mention before I let you find folks off the hook, we're not doing too bad. We can go another 10 minutes. Is a book that you need to read. Behold the Pale Horse. I believe it's by Bradley Cooper. And this book is about how, this is written a long time ago, by the way. I think it was in the 80s, 85 around there, 80 something for sure. And it's a book about, I believe, I don't know exactly what it's about, but it mentions the fact that school shootings will be weaponized in the near future politically. Real Terror, False Flag. Bradley Cooper. I think that's the preface, maybe. Something's telling me that's the preface of the book. The preface or whatever. The shit that's written under the title. Anyway, maybe I wrote that. I don't know. Real Terror, False Flag. Yeah, but anyway, it's real terror attacks. Oh yeah, these mass school shootings and all this shit. Okay, listen. You want the straight dope? You want my professional opinion? Listen, every mass shooting has been done by a domestic citizen. They're not done by some dude from fucking Iraq coming over here and shooting the place up. Walking into Walmart with no ID and buying a fucking bazooka. Okay, that's not what's happening here. It's CIA planted attacks. I'm not saying they don't happen. Of course, I'm sure that they happen. Did people die in Sandy Hook? I fucking probably guarantee you a lot of fucking innocent kids died in that. But you know what? If you think it's beyond a fucking Nazi to kill children, you're fucking stupid. Why wouldn't they fucking kill innocent people to accomplish their goals? These people are fucking maniacs. And they are the real terrorists. Anybody who would fucking do a false flag attack is a traitor. And under the Constitution and any fucking real standards, I don't think it's in Canada here, but treason should be punished by, we all know what, fucking a good old rope. You can quote me on that. If you betray fucking your countrymen, especially resulting in fucking death or something, not just to the Chinese and be like, you guys can take over, I don't give a fuck, Justin Trudeau. Should be strung up like a motherfucking, what could be strung up? Anyway, fuck that. I don't have time for that. No jokes. I don't need jokes right now. I'm not good enough to make jokes right now. All right, so here we go. So yeah, basically they want to take your guns, folks. And I'm not just saying that to be ironic or whatever. They do want to take your guns. It's going to be a lot easier to take you down without your guns. You can still fuck up a robot with a real fucking, most Canadians aren't probably familiar, some are, but a beautiful, I'm not saying that everyone should have an assault rifle, but a beautiful assault rifle, you could fucking take down a fucking robo toaster who wants to come and shock ya. You could take that motherfucker down. You get six American red blood motherfuckers with a fucking assault rifle. Fuck Terminator, all right? Arnie in that movie, no, he'll get ripped apart. I mean, maybe not like that specific movie, but if it was made of regular metal today, rip that motherfucker down, even if he is bulletproof, somehow. But anyway, once they take your fucking assault rifles, you guys are gonna be one step closer to getting fucked. Look up Walmart concentration camps. That shit'll make it hard for you to sleep if you live in the United States or anywhere in the world, really. I mean, unless you're on fucking Tahiti Island with a bunch of Hawaiian warriors ready to fucking protect you. Anyway. Hopefully the comedy appeals to some people. Alright, so what have we covered so far? A bunch of shit. Essentially, the reason that they did this is to have the world of George Orwell's 1984 novel realized. Like I mentioned, they want to have everybody under surveillance. And not only that, they want constant war at all times. Because the most important thing you can control in the entire world is not gold, oil, or drugs, or sex, blackmailing, as Mr. Sam Tripoli mentioned yesterday, or I believe, he mentions all the time now, is God or gods, the acronym. No, it's the minds of men. That's why they spend so much money on fucking propaganda. Is because the minds of men are the most powerful thing you can control. If you control or influence the mind of your fellow man, you guys can accomplish a lot more. And woman, you guys can accomplish a lot more together. That's why in the book 1984 they didn't like couples, because once you get together with a fine lady friend or a man friend, whatever you're down with, you'll be talking about like, hey, I don't like this makes me feel shitty. Oh, I think that we should let fucking people come here and start a life. Oh shit, anyway, we should take down the government, they're corrupt. Oh my god, what's going down? The story of the original, oh yeah, okay, Don't Tread on Me is the next thing I have written down. The story of the original concept of the American national flag is beautiful, the one that was used during the Revolution, and the symbolism of the snake, described by Benjamin Franklin, is nothing short of just really beautiful. And I'll try to drag that up for you guys right now. So yes, from Wikipedia, the Gadsden flag is the historical American flag with a yellow field depicting a timber rattlesnake coiled, ready to strike. Positioned below the rattlesnake are the words, "Don't tread on me." The flag is named after the American general and politician Christopher Gadsden, who designed it during the 1775 American Revolution. It was used by the colonial Marines as an early model flag, along with the Moultrie flag, which I'm not going to look at. And the quote here is, "I recoiled that her eye excelled in brightness that of any other animal, and that she had no eyelids. She may therefore be esteemed an emblem of justice. She never begins an attack, nor, once engaged, ever surrenders. She is therefore an emblem of magnanimity and true courage. As if anxious to prevent all pretensions of quarreling with her, the weapons of which her nature has furnished her, she conceals in the roof of her mouth, so that to those who are unacquainted with her, she appears to be a most defenseless animal. And even when those weapons are shown and extended for her defense, they appear weak and contemptible. But their wounds, however small, are decisive and fatal. Conscious of this, she never wounds till she has generously given notice, even to her enemy, and cautioned him against the danger of stepping on her. Was I wrong, sir, in thinking this is a strong picture of the temper and conduct of America?" Again, the great Benjamin Franklin. basically, the original American animal was a rattlesnake. Now, if you're a conspiracy theorist like me and you've heard about the lizard people and all that shit, that might raise some red flags. I'm going to, at this point, check out Tinfoil Hat, the episode on the snake versus the eagle. It's very good. It's part 2 of the flood episode, and they go into a lot of that. But basically, the eagle is a symbol for everlasting war and dominance, and the snake has always been a symbol for wisdom, going back to the Bible, supposedly. That apparently wasn't, now don't get all pissed off, it wasn't the devil, apparently. It was a fucking snake or some shit. It was just symbolic. I don't know. But I will say this. That is fucking beautiful. And fuck yeah. I consider the current flag to be bullshit. And the real flag is a yellow flag with a fucking snake on it. And you don't fuck with the snake. That is America. And soon that snake's gonna wrap around that eagle's fucking leg and pull it down to fucking the ground and bite it. Bite it. Okay, so back to the script. We'll finish her off here. We'll get you folks on your fucking Uber ride home. We'll send you back. Where you brought your popcorn from home. Next time, please don't bring your own drinks. The only money that we make here at the club is from you guys buying the drinks. Even the popcorn, like, I'm not trying to complain, but don't bring popcorn next time, all right? Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for showing up. Okay, so, yeah. Examples of other American false flags are the, what's that fucking one? Pearl Harbor, apparently, is largely a false flag. Again, it happened, but they started this attack to fucking garnish support for war, okay? Which is, the object of most false flags, if I'm not mistaken. That dinging you heard, sorry, is my charger being plugged into my phone, which is currently my microphone. Anyway, how has the Middle East turned out since 9/11? Has it gotten better or worse? Well, if you ask anybody, it's gotten a lot worse. I think Libya, it went after they gave up their weapons, supposedly. I think it was after that they got taken down, and now there's open air slave trading in Libya. You can go and buy a fucking whole family if you want to for $1.95. Okay, get the fuck down there. So that was because of U.S. destabilization of a country that was trying to make its own way and that was getting very, very successful. I think it was the most successful country in Africa, if I'm not mistaken, according to Jimmy Dore. Anyway, love Jimmy Dore, my personal hero. Anyway, out of everybody, he's definitely at the top of that. Maybe Jesse Ventura is a little higher because he wants to be presidentship, but Jimmy Dore makes me laugh, makes me cry, he gets me mad, and he gives me real hope. So if you don't know who he is, I might be wasting my time. Anyway, no, I take that back. Check out Jimmy Dore. All right, so geez, I'm gonna have some dinner soon. My mom bought me some sausages. I'm gonna have some fucking Chinese noodles in a cup. Looking forward to that. My stomach is grumbling. Sorry. We have a few more things to go over here, folks. I know it's been an hour, 10 minutes. Maybe you can watch this in 2 parts. I don't know. But you're definitely going to enjoy the end of the show. I promise that. Special treat for all you bad motherfuckers who are listening to the end. All right. King Obama. Yeah, Barack Obama. You know that guy that's really cool, smooth talker. And he talks like this. And he really distracts you from the bullshit that he's talking about. He'll take you home, he'll kick you out on the street, and he'll even, sound so cool that most people are ignorant of the fact that he's a total piece of shit. And he let down the African American community more than anybody else. And he put a lot of them in jail. So I think we're doing shot him now, but you get my point. Not a big deal. That guy's a fucking piece of shit. He's the biggest fucking failure, pretty much ever. He's a bigger failure than Trump because he was supposed to represent hope and change. And what he represented was cock-sucking, dick-licking bullshit. All right? Sorry, I shouldn't be talking like that. If you've gotten this far, you probably have calloused ears. Anyways, so fuck Barack Obama. I spit on him. Anyway. Again, would I rather have Trudeau than fucking... What's his name there? Harper? I mean, yeah, but barely. Barely. The only thing that we got is fucking pot. We were gonna get that anyways. Give us one more year of Harper. See what fucking happens, alright? Anyway. That was the climate. So, I mean, Trudeau was default. Default. Anyway, the two T's of the fucking North America. Fucking cocksuckers. Even Trump is less... No, I take that back. They're both equally contemptible, Trudeau and Trump. They're buddies. Swear to God. They're best friends, man. They probably make out. Anyway. People say that Trump might be secretly trying to be a good guy. I doubt it. I doubt it. Very much so. Sam Tripoli, if you're listening, I doubt it, bro. Maybe, but I doubt it. And maybe he's just an old school asshole kind of guy who's trying to be a good guy. But I don't think so. Do I believe he's a fucking pedo and shit with Jeffrey Epstein? No, actually, I think he fucking came against him. Do I think he's a fucking racist dick? Yeah, he's probably a racist dick. You know, it's too bad because he seems likable. He seems like he's a cool guy to hang out with and shit. But when you're a fucking racist asshole who doesn't let black people in your fucking rental units and shit, it just says so much stupid shit. Anyway. There's a lot more contemptible people, like the Clintons, like Obama. I'd say he's probably equally contemptible on the level with Trump. Anyway, more contemptible. Yeah. Anyway. Constant fracking, water poisoning has happened a lot more since 9/11. Clear betrayal of the people. Okay. Oil production, in spite of this and the evident dangers and fracking, has been going ahead, and there's campaigns from the government officials to fucking keep this dangerous shit going. Purdue Pharma recently, I think they're basically being dissolved. Now they might be fighting it, but they're being dissolved to pay for all the damages they've done, and it doesn't even come close to the original fucking lawsuit request, I believe. Okay, this is a betrayal of middle America. Who's being held accountable right now? I don't know. I don't think they will be held accountable. There's a lot of loopholes and shit. Why do I make the case for treason charges constantly? Whether the implications are a rope or a jail cell with a nice little fucking bowl of rice every fucking day. And that's it. Maybe like a glass of warm water, some stale bread, you know. A little piss in your fucking face there, you scumbags. Why do I make the case for that? Well, their jobs are there, and this is my first episode. Their jobs are to act in our best interest, to advocate for us with these companies, and instead, what do? They do the exact opposite. So now, on top of the huge salaries that we give these fucking lazy cocksuckers, they get all kinds of backdoor deals, this and that. I mean, come on, man. And you got to be rich to run in the first place. Fuck them. They are not our representatives. Even the local fucking government. I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm not trying to fuck over podcast appearances by maybe possible local government people and shit. I don't know. I don't know them all personally. But the shit that's going down is evidence of failure. The fact that they're not screaming at the top of their lungs and on all public platforms that something needs to be done about everything in this city and in this world, that makes you guilty enough. Silence is guilt in the situation of politics. But anyway. That's why I make the case for charges of treason. And there's a lot more. But basically, this has all been part of a cabal, a takeover in slow motion that started with JFK's assassination. And, they probably always wanted to do this. These fucking elite fucking Luciferians, devil worshippers, in my opinion. But whatever you call them, they're just bullies. Without all these labels, they're just bullies, okay? What do the mass shootings from Vegas and all that, from Sandy Hook, all have in common with 9/11? They're both devices that limit freedom, deliberate devices, and they shape public opinion. Like I said before, the minds of men are the most powerful thing to control in the whole world. They are about ending the dream that is the American Republic. Okay? The original American dream. That was conceived by Ben Franklin and others. That was conceived by that was supported by JFK and possibly one or two more presidents. Barely any. They're mostly fucking assholes. and most can be related to royalty. Maybe even JFK, but I don't give a fuck. That guy was solid as fuck. I get tears in my eyes, even if I just read any quotes from him or shit, you know. He's a true hero, man, and he went down for it, okay? We all know that. We all know that. It wasn't Russia. It was the fucking motherfucker who came very next in line to him, okay? The marker stones, apparently some people think Bush was in charge of the party that took that motherfucker down. But anyway, God rest your soul, JFK. The marker stones of depopulation prophecy. I believe they're called the Georgia Guidestones. You can check that shit out. Those are placed there in like 1970 something, right after fucking he got shot. Right after that, around that time, okay? These motherfuckers think they can fucking stomp us out and enslave us all. How would you feel if tomorrow someone came to your house and put a slave collar on your fucking neck? What would you do? You'd be like, well, at least I still get to eat McDonald's. At least I still have my chicken nuggets and my sauce. I got a big drink cup. It's really big. It doesn't even fit in my cup holder. Oh, wait, yeah, it does. It does because it gets wider as you go up. It's well designed. Hamster in a wheel. Rat in a fucking cage, despite all my rage, alright? Now, your favorite radio jockey's going to have to wind it down soon, but I will mention a few more things. Upcoming false flag agenda, including Project Bluebeam, which, if you don't know, look into it. Unacknowledged is a great documentary on Netflix. It was #1 for a couple of weeks. I love Netflix, despite what people say about it. I think it has the potential to be the best thing since fucking toilet paper, people. Shout out to my tushy. No, I'm just kidding. No, shout out to them. I would love to have a butthole washer, but I can't afford that shit. Okay? It's just too fancy. It's beautiful. You should get one, though, if you're listening. Project Bluebeam is the false alien invasion made from basically reverse engineered spaceship fucking flying things with laser beams and all that, made to look like aliens, so that you hate aliens, so that you join the Space Force in the next 20 years. It's going to be the 9/11 of the New World Order that's going to get everybody to join governments. I mean, they're basically all joined now. If you think that there's any real conflict between China, United States, Canada, I was going to say Israel, any of these fucking people, you're fucking dreaming. Read 1984. You can skip to the part in the middle. There's a book within the book, and it's called like the Global Control Manual or some shit. And it lays out exactly what's happening today. These people pretend that there's war so that they can control all of us, so that they can limit our freedoms and eventually probably kill us all. Okay? So yeah, anyway. The prophecy stone also, I just want to mention before we move on, it also mentions on it that they should keep the population low, and there's a bunch of other provisions. So people have vandalized and shit, but I mean, man, I wanted to fucking remove that and find out who put it there and fucking hang them. Hang those motherfuckers. Jesus Christ, you're advocating genocide when you put population control on a fucking megalith. That's genocide, brah. What the fuck? Universal genocide, too. Like, it's fucked up. Well, I guess if you're going to be all-inclusive, you've got to kill everybody just the same. All right, so World War III is an upcoming false flag. They're going to try and push that on us. They're going to try and push it with Iran, North Korea. They're going to try and push it with anybody that they can, just to slaughter a bunch of folks. There'll probably be a draft reenacted at World War III. And as long as it's not China coming and marching their boots on my face, you know, I'm not participating in that shit, man. But if China wants to come here, I'll red down that shit tomorrow. I've said this many times. Bring it on, you fucking Chinese scum. Come here, and it'll be Red Dawn 2, the fucking maple syrup awakening, bitch. I'll fucking force feed you fucking maple syrup up your arsehole. It's called a fucking Canuck enema. It's called a Kanenema. It's fucking invigorating. Okay, the melting of anthrax. Oh, the melting of ice. I've read this, that is going to release anthrax soon. So they're saying that the melting of ice is going to release all kinds of diseases. There's an island where they have all the germs and most powerful diseases in the world under lock and key, for lack of a better term, under vial and glass, okay, ready to be weaponized. They experiment with that shit. I don't know why they do it. What's their excuse? I don't know what their excuse is, but it's documented. They can look it up. Do a Google. Do a little Googling. You'll figure it out, okay? GMO poisoning. Now, people are like, I've spoke to some people who are like, GMOs are feeding people in poor countries. Okay, that might be true, but they're also fucking poisoning us with genetically modified horrors that are going to make you sterile, give you cancer, limit your life, fuck up your brain, your development. We've got the waterway, the water wars. Jesus, I don't know why I put that. I don't know why I put the GMO poisoning on false flags, because that's not a false flag. I apologize for that. The water wars, that's not really a false flag, but what's going to come is they're going to try to limit the world's water source, which is something called desalination. So you could technically take ocean water, which, there you go. And it's one of the best ways of purifying, apparently, if it's done properly. But anyway, the water wars, basically in 20 years, 30 years, if the New World Order doesn't take form, or if it's something different than I imagine, we're going to be struggling for water. They say that all the time. We're going to be struggling for water. They admit it. It's going to be the new gold. I'm not looking forward to that. I don't think that's acceptable. And I think that if you're in charge and you say, well, what are we going to do? You should be probably back in fucking grade 9, because I know what we're going to do. We're going to start working for a better country, sea to sea. And that's on the crest of Canadian Parliament. For a better country, sea to sea. Now, I can't read the other part of the crest. It might also say, like, enslaving all fucking people. But I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Better country from sea to sea. And you know what? That's what I believe, man. You guys, if you're in Parliament and you're not working towards it every day, fighting towards that, and demanding that people who fight against it be removed from fucking parliamentary proceedings. The only thing that parliamentary proceedings should be about is how we're going to make the changes that we need. They shouldn't be about what we're going to do and why we're going to do it. They should be about how we're going to proceed forward, because as a country, we know what we got to do. Make some solar panels. We got to keep our maple syrup flowing. We got to start making some hash. We got to keep growing some fucking weed. We got to export that shit. We got to make some propaganda like in the 1940s with cigarette smoke. It's good for you. It's good for you. Well, it is good for you. We need to start exporting that shit. Okay? We need to be the Holland of North America and of the world. Fuck Holland. We're going to take their fucking weed crown. Fuck California. We're going to take their weed crown. All right? And if you vote for me as mayor, as fucking any representative, God willing, one day, prime minister, I'm going to make this shit happen, guys. And if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be like, why is the system so broken that the top man in the country can't make this shit happen? Where's my fucking province? Anyway, this is another, I'm sorry. I like to go off on tangents. I was going to say province to province solar panels and fucking cannabis grow ops, where everybody gets a huge share of the profits. You know, where is that? Where's this shit? These people are traitors. They're not representatives. They're not elected officials. They're fucking royal scum. And they need to be taken out of office. Anyway. Nervous. So, what I want to end this off on is, despite the tragedies that have... I apologize for the momentary interruption. I had to take a brief break to take some water and release it also through my urine stream. So now that I'm back, we'll get back on topic. Thank God it's not a live show, am I right, folks? I really don't think... I don't want to say that there's no death in vain, because that's what I have written down. That sounds very offensive. And we're in the last, 3 minutes here, so hopefully you guys are hanging on. It's almost over, don't worry. I'm at the end of the page here. No death is ever in vain, really. I mean, that sounds stupid. So I think all death is in vain. Life should be eternal. Okay. But in a way, 9/11 has been the ultimate red pill that the world has needed for some time. Since JFK, that was a red pill moment for everyone. That's what started the whole fucking shit. This invasion of the people he talked about before. They shot him in the fucking everything. They shot him in the everything. Those fucks. Anyway, the American fucks, by the way. Who knows who they used for that, but that's who planned it. Okay. And why more people than ever now hate the elite, war itself, and obviously the Illuminati. All right, whoever they may be and whoever might be attached to them. People were probably never aware of it, and as a result of this terrible, fucking, disgusting tragedy that happened, now more than ever, people want peace. Just like back in the 60s and 70s, the hippie movements. Not quite that strong, not yet. But we can get back there. And not only that, but we can also demand that our future be fucking maintained and that everything be done for us, not for these fucking scum. The fact that we allow billionaires and trillionaires, I mean, if you want to have a $5 million and have a fucking dope house, not a crazy house, but like a dope little house, not little, but like a dope house, fine. Why you gotta get fucking $10 million, $20 million? Fuck that shit. That's decadence. But what we live under right now is not even fucking capitalism. It's called feudalism. Basically, you pay for the privilege to live on the land, and you get very little in return. Sure, we've got healthcare, but it's just cheaper. It's just cheaper than fucking trying to keep the country afloat like these fucking American psychos do. And we wouldn't have a strong population. So, you know, I mean, anyway. And our citizens would not be half as loyal. Oh my God. Thank God we have free healthcare. I would have flipped this shit as soon as I was fucking out of the womb, if not. It's coming. Don't worry. We're going to flip this shit top down, folks. People are going to be back in control. Unless they fucking take me out. But even then, my words will echo on into eternity. Perhaps you're on a space vessel listening to this. Greetings and salutations from a time of Big Brother. No, that's a previous intro I did. I'm sure you're aware of that. All right, we can't keep this going much longer. And it's not hopeless anymore. It's not hopeless. It never was. And you know why? This false flag shows exactly what they're scared of. And it shows that we, the people of the world, of America, of Canada, of everywhere, Mexico, we hold the power. And how we can get justice and make America and the world great once again and forever and for all people, not just the lucky enough people to be born in this side of the world. I wake up every day. I'm so fucking grateful that I'm Canadian. So grateful and proud. And you know what? It's my duty and all of your duty. If you fucking can wipe your ass with a piece of toilet paper and eat clean food and drink clean water, it's your duty to share that with the world. And if you think that that's wrong, you should stab yourself in the eye with a fucking fork and check into a mental hospital. Because there's something wrong with your brain. All right? If you don't think we should take care of the less fortunate and everyone else, what the fuck is wrong with you, dog? You got some issues. Small penis syndrome. I know what it is. Oh, jeez. A true conservative a true right-winger would be like, look, we got to foster fucking business. We need to take care of these fucking bums so that they fucking get a job. But no, that's not what happens. That's not what happens. I'm not talking about healthcare. I'm talking about like social services and all that and welfare and all that. But anyway, welfare has its fucking downfalls. Trust me, I know from experience. It's not homeless. It's not homeless. It's not hopeless. Because the fact that they had to pull a false flag on the scale to get us into war, to get us to agree to this massive, constant surveillance. I mean, they hid it from us for a while, and to get us to accept the abolishment of habeas corpus and basic rules against torture that have been in effect since like the 1400s, the Magna Carta has been thrown out. The Magna Carta. King Arthur didn't have to deal with this shit. Okay? The Egyptians had it better, dogs. No, I'm just kidding. We're told that the attacks were committed by people who hate our freedom. I believe Mr. Bush, the Nazi supporter family descendant, said this, or said something akin to it. We were told that the attacks were committed by people who hate our freedom, people who hate our way of life. And this was absolutely true. People who are bloodthirsty and who will do anything to destroy what we have, what we believe in, and what I believe that wholeheartedly. Oh, and I believe that wholeheartedly, but I don't believe Muslim terrorists planned this event or any terror attacks in North America at all, really. I know it was the first step towards the end New World Order that seeks to reinstate a one world government, to instate one world government, and have total control over everything we do, from how you wipe your asshole to what you put into your body to make that filth. We are at war, and it is a war on terror. I'm going to start this again. We were told that the attacks were committed by people who hate our freedom, people who hate our way of life. This is absolutely true. People who are bloodthirsty and will do anything to destroy what we have, and I believe that wholeheartedly, but I don't believe Muslim terrorists planned this event. I know it was the first step towards the New World Order that seeks to instate a one world government and to have total control. We are at war, and it is a war on terror. It is a war on the poor via terror from the wealthy elite, and we must fight them no matter what. Now I'm going to give you an end quote, two end quotes. One is biblical, and one is from Ben Franklin. But before that, thank you for listening so much. I know it's been another hour and 40 minutes of your life. Maybe you've watched this in 2 parts. Shout out to Mike LeGroux and Rob Dobby. Check out Dobie Contracting. They're much more professional than I am. Shout out to them. They're not sponsoring me at all. But if you want your roof fixed, man, check out Robert Dobie. Do a Google search, Dobie Contracting. Fucking amazing work. That motherfucker eats, sleeps, and breathes roofs. Local business, support it. And you won't be disappointed. The price point is fucking better. Anyway, that's business. We shouldn't be doing that shit in church. But whatever. You know, it's family. Shout out to you guys. Hopefully you're listening, but probably not. You know, we must fight these fucking bastards no matter what. I'm proud of what I wrote, you know, not most of it tonight, but it was kind of sloppy. It was really sloppy. I apologize to your ears. It will get better. And, you know, maybe once I've attained some kind of success, you know, once I have like 1,000 listeners or 100 listeners, somebody will enjoy this. And, you know, hopefully you did. I didn't have a lot of weed tonight. I'm a little off. You know, I usually smoke on the regular. It helps me out. But didn't have a lot tonight. But I decided to do this. I wanted to put out something. I wanted to put out my opinions around this shit. And, yeah. So hopefully I've effectively done that. We were told that the attacks... I already said that. Shit. Anyway, I think that's a sign to close it out. Man, I just love that, what I wrote. Anyway, we are at war, folks, and it is a war on terror. It's a war on terror, and you know what? It's a war it's a war of us against the terror. We are the poor people of the world, and the terror from the wealthy elite is what we're fighting against. The end quote is Ben Franklin. War is when your government tells you who the bad guy is, but revolution is when you decide that for yourself. I'm Alex Whitten. Thank you so much, aka the Woot Man. The Woot Man! Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you appreciate those wise words. Like he said, war is when government tells you who the bad guy is, and revolution is when you decide that for yourself. I think that's really the sum of these fucking attacks, and we can get revolution if we just tell these motherfuckers no more. I'm going to play for you now a quote from the Bible, read by none other than Samuel Jackson. God bless you all. Thank you for listening. And long live the United States of America, the ideals it was originally founded upon, excluding slavery. Fuck slavery. And, you know, everybody's in the United States. Never give up. You might be facing basically a robot holocaust. But you know what? Canadians aren't going to let that shit happen and sit silently. We've been watching across the border. We've been watching Trump. We've been watching all this shit go down for the last 20 years. We're ready to help you guys. I'm not saying we're going to fucking come over there and don't whack me. Don't whack me, Trump. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we're not going to let fucking genocide go on across the border. You guys are our brothers. We're all brothers in this world. And you guys are our closest allies. You know, the citizens and, you know, the true loyalists in the military, you know. So I'm not against the soldiers of the United States military. I'm against the United States military as a whole and their objectives and what they're fucking doing. But not against the soldiers. Never against the soldiers. Unless they're fucking murderers. Anyway, have a good night, folks. God bless you. And I want to remind all you fucking traitors out there. Read the Constitution of the United States of America. You will find the punishment for your crime of treason, for betrayal of your brothers and sisters, is state court sanctioned execution. I'm not saying we attack elected officials at all. I want to be an elected official. But you will get your punishment legally and fairly to all betrayers of the United States of America, Canada, and the world. Your day of judgment is coming. And the people will hold you accountable at the end of a rope and the chop of a guillotine. Take it away, Samuel. Take it away, Mr. Jackson.
You read the Bible, Red? Yes. Oh, there's this passage I got memorized. Sort of fits this occasion. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.